So beautiful day at Torrey, Memorial Day, a Monday, but obviously a lot of people off, and what better place to be than along the coast here in Torrey Pines. A lot of people knew there would be, but I also had a great weather forecast that said, yeah, today's the day to fly. I've really been kind of skunked the last few times with either no wind or very low clouds, just that inland fog that happens around this time of year. Lots of traffic around this area. You've got tandems starting to go up, a lot of students doing a lot of kiting, and some of them are going out there, but actually the sky is not that crowded right now. And it's almost noontime, so good time to get out and just do my flying before it really starts to get crowded later on. Again, you got to watch for traffic, especially these tandems. They'll come through. You don't know if they're going to land or they're going to fly through. They really don't let you know. So you've just got to have your head on a swivel, kind of anticipate what you think they're going to do. Put your wing down if there's any doubt, but this guy knew he was going to go through. Usually they'll yell landing, but not always. So we're flying again at Torrey. I never get tired of that launch. Actually, off Torrey or any other site, it's just a thrill to be able to think I can fly and just soar, either thermaling or in this case, ridge soaring. I thought for this video, I'd kind of take you along and let you see the southmost extent of the ridge flying all the way to the north. You used to be able to fly much further north into other areas, but you get to a point where they call the Torrey Pines Preserve, and they really don't want you to fly any further than that. They will let you know. So here's the ridge just north of the launch. If the weather and wind is light, everybody will kind of come here. If you think you can make it at all, you'll go to this north ridge, just north of the launch. If you don't make it here, you're going down to the beach, most likely. I'm just passing south now, going into what they call the window. And supposedly there's only supposed to be one glider pilot in the window at a time. This is not always the case, so you really got to be careful. If you're launching, you really got to watch it because you may have somebody right below the edge of that cliff just trying to scratch his way. And yeah, it could make a bad day happen. You're supposed to blow that whistle. I would say that happens about 1% of the time. So again, it really got to be looking, putting your head on a swivel, and just make sure you're clear of everything. Now I've kind of noticed this phenomenon in my right foot. And even my wife pointed it out. She says, what's going on there? She says, I have no idea. It's totally unconscious. My right foot just kind of shakes a little bit like that. Doesn't happen any other time, just when I'm flying, at least as far as I know. And I can stop it if I'm really conscious of it. So anyway, if anybody knows what this is, let me know. So far it hasn't progressed up to my knees and so forth. So all right, so progressing further south now, you'll start to see some of these really beautiful homes. Very big. I've noticed a lot of solar panels lately. That's the biggest change I can spot on all these homes. And also a phenomenon that I've mentioned in the past is that I never see anybody out there. Parties, lawn chairs, people playing badminton, I don't know, anything. It just never seems to be that anybody's out there. I always got a feeling that, boy, I'd love to do a little spot landing in one of those nice lawns, but one, it'd be a little dicey, and yeah, they wouldn't appreciate that. And once again, it would be a demerit on the paragliding community to have us fly over those homes, so we don't do that. This is another spot that would be a great top landing spot as we're further south here, but again, we're not supposed to do that, so we don't. Now in emergency, this would be a place we'd say, yeah, I gotta get down, you could top land here. And this ridge here sometimes has some trigger thermals that come off it, and I've been able to climb here, not always, but every once in a while I get some nice thermals. You can start to see now that Scripps Pier in the distance there. You can fly over that. I've flown over that a few times when the ridge soaring is just perfect. You get a lot of altitude and you just get there and start to fly back. Now you'll lose a lot of lift there. The cliff definitely starts to end around that corner. You'll see this really pretty half circle home, and that's been under construction for some time. And I think they're still working on it. Could be. Anyway, really nice views from here. All right, we've turned around and we're heading back north. Another view of those beautiful homes. This little area of the ridge seems to really funnel that wind. If I'm low, I'll come here, do a few turns, and I'll pick up a lot of height, which is what I'm doing now. I've actually got pretty good height, but it's just kind of fun. I thought I'd give me some distance also from that paraglider that was in front of me. That could be a tandem, and again, I like to stay away from the tandems as much as possible because they will do some maneuvers out of nowhere. They're trying to entertain their clients, so to speak, and their passengers. So I just give them a lot of room, and I think we both appreciate that. So we're back towards the launch site and landing site of Torrey. Obviously, most of the time you'll top land here. Now you can see that one glider just below that ridge. And as I was talking about earlier, if you were to launch, say you didn't see him, and nobody's blowing the whistle, and there's not a marshal there to let you know, you may launch in a light wind and go right into that canopy. So once again, just got to really be careful. So now we're getting into the Torrey Pines golf course. Very famous. They do some PGA tournaments here. Every year there's a scheduled PGA tournament. I believe they had the US Open. Was that last year or the year before? I'm not sure, but yeah, really nice golf course. There's two courses. There's the north course and then there's the south course. Right now we're looking at the south course. I have played both of them and not very well, but it's a great place to play golf. I haven't played in years there. It's hard to get on. And it's a great place to walk the course too. It's fairly flat, especially the north side. Here's the long fairway. I don't know what hole this is, but I often hang around and just see how people do with their drives. So right in this section, this is the north end of the south course. You'll get some nice thermals here periodically. So I'll hang out here, do some turns, and every once in a while I hit a thermal and climb a little bit. So as we're continuing north, we'll start to see the north course of Torrey Pines just up ahead. And as you cross this gap here, you want to have some altitude. This can be a little less predictable as you go through here. Usually, as I come along this ridge here, you'll start to pick up some wind again. But sometimes I find it's, like I said, it's unpredictable. Don't get as much lift as I think I'm going to get. You can see that paraglider in the distance there. I did see that pilot getting some thermals and actually got up about another 200 or 300 feet, it looked like. So that's where I'm headed to see if I can maybe hit some thermals that are triggering off there. But I got a nice surprise here when I felt just a sudden lift and picked up one side of my wing to my left. So I went back and see if I can catch that thermal. Did one more turn and suddenly I got back into it. And you'll see from here I do 360. I got up to about 500 feet here. That was the highest I got this day. 500 feet AGL. Okay, that was short but sweet, and any lift is nice. Um, Felt I went in it and I came right out of it. So I continued my journey going north. And you can start to see in the distance there, that's the limit where we're allowed to fly. And then, of course, they'll let us know that we went too far. Right in that little outcropping there, at the very distance, you'll see what they call bathtub rock. And it looks like a rock that's sunken in like a bathtub. And you go up to there, and that's about your limit. You turn around, come back. I felt that maybe I would get a little low, so I didn't extend my flight that far, and started to head back south again. Back in the day, you could actually fly much further north into what they call Del Mar, Cardiff, even into Carlsbad. But that was back in the day. Yeah, that's been a long time since you've been able to do that. There's a lot of ridge soaring capability, but not legally able to do that now. Now, if you happen to be lucky enough and it's a nice day to soar while one of the tournaments going on, you can fly here pretty much all day and just watch the stars out there playing golf, much better than you or I would ever do, if that's your thing. So here we are, right back at that ridge just north of the launch. Really not crowded up here. I thought there'd be a lot more pilots flying about, but I think there's just a lot of students, and that looks like a tandem. So the tandems will definitely start to get busier as the day goes on. This is, I think it's only around 12:30 right now, so it'll definitely get a lot busier. So there'd be no problem top landing today. I mentioned earlier, why wouldn't you top land? Well, one is that the wind dies, or you went out knowing that it was going to be dicey and end up at the beach. But it also can get really windy pretty quickly. It doesn't happen too often. Usually you know the forecast, but all of a sudden it can come up, in which case you may not want to top land and get possibly blown back over the edge there. And there's a whole lot of cars and parking lots, and people have been known to do that. I did land at the beach once when I thought it was just way too windy. And so that's something to keep in mind when you're flying Torrey. Another angle here, Torrey Pine. Busy day at Torrey, and that's to be expected. Beautiful day, nice wind, Memorial Day. All right, pumping the brakes. You guys let me know, do you pump the brakes? I've heard pros and cons of that, like don't do it too. Oh yeah, you can do that. I've never done that. Well, maybe I have. Who knows? Thanks for watching. This was a great day at Torrey Pines. I haven't had this a nice flight like this in a long time. Either a little black or, like I said, I had some days where there was no wind or absolutely just low clouds and just fog all along the coast here, so it couldn't fly. I hope to get up to Saboba or Marshall in my area and do that, and something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've got some ideas for the paramotor. I cannot quite get the paramotor out of my brain. So I'm thinking of some options there. I did get my glider add-on rating, so that was a lot of fun. But I must say, my heart really is into paragliding. I just love that feeling. And also the accessibility, the freedom to go just anywhere, just packing this wing in your car. And if you got nice weather, like I did today, it's just absolutely the best thing there is. Thanks for watching. Take care. Fly safe. Bye-bye.